Well, hi everybody, Wes McDonald here, and I want to welcome you to day 12, I guess, of my 75-day video challenge. And today we're going to talk about a sensitive one. At least it can be for me sometimes because I'm a creative soul and probably a little more sensitive than some of you folks out there, and it's feedback. And notice I said feedback and not criticism because words matter, and the word frames how we're going to approach any potential learnings that we may be trying to approach somebody with. So I want to talk about the 5 ways I think we can give feedback back better. The first one I'll start with is understand that there's, things that are crappy in the world, but you've got to really delineate how crappy. And the way I like to look at it is, is it a mouse turd or an elephant crap? Because if it's a mouse turd, it's probably something, even though it's bothering me a little bit, that I may not need to bring up with, somebody. So if I don't like a particular quote in a blog, if it's not exactly my flavor, but everyone has their angle, and if that quote worked for the piece, and even though I would have done something differently, I would call that a mouse turd. If I look at the quote in the blog and it's factually incorrect, well, that's an elephant turd. I've got to go back and give some feedback on making sure that that gets corrected. So remember, folks, when it comes to feedback, look out for elephant crap and don't pay as much attention to those little mouse turds. The second thing I would say is that we've always got to learn about balance, and I'm a Star Wars fan, so I talk about balance in the Force, if you will. And that balance is to make sure that whatever feedback we're giving, that there should be an equal amount, if not more, in the positive side as well. So when you are speaking with a sales rep, for example, let's say in their sales process, if they're really good at I'll say the middle of a deal. So when they're working with a customer and expressing what the value proposition is, etc., and really, pushing the customer towards more of a closing phase. They may, however, be really terrible at the front end on funnel development. So the way I would approach that is I would go to the sales rep and say, hey, look, I was looking at what you're doing on that deal. Excellent work. I think that, brings us a lot closer to closing, keep it up. Just wanted to mention, though, on the front end, on the funnel side, that it is a bit light. And I'm wondering if we can come up with a few ideas to help you make sure that that gets fuller. Now, notice what I did there is it's not a criticism, necessarily a negative about the sales funnel. I'm actually offering to help. And that leads into the third term I would go for giving feedback is turn it into a brainstorming session, right? That oftentimes when we have a brainstorming session and you get input from the person who you're actually trying to give feedback to, it becomes something that they own. It becomes something that they create and something they can actually become proud of. So remember that. Try and make it their idea, and there's no better way than brainstorming. The other thing I would say is make sure that we play to the personalities of the people that we're trying to give feedback to. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm a creative, so I'm probably more sensitive than some of the more traditional A-type personalities that you would find out there, right? And so for me, I like the brainstorming sessions. I like the creative ways to come to solutions over things that maybe need to be improved. That's just how I work. I'm a creative. However, if I'm a direct A-type personality, maybe what I need is to cut right to the chase, right? I don't have time for that, that fluffy stuff in the middle. So come up with solutions as quickly as possible and ideas, for those kind of people. Another type of personality, obviously, you deal with when you're giving feedback are people that are task-oriented, right? So maybe you can break down the advice into manageable bite-sized pieces into little tasks. And again, nothing says that you can't work with them to come up with those bite-sized pieces are in those tasks for, delivery. So that's all I really got to say on that today. Just feedback's very important. It helps us all get better. But just remember when it's necessary, when it's just personal opinion. The background you see behind me is actually at the Toronto International Airport. I will be going there tomorrow. That's why it's my background. Heading off to the Executive Connection Summit. So Mike Stramaglio, everybody, look forward to seeing you there. Michael Cousins, I know you'll be there. Tanya Stone, I know that you'll be there. Eric Crump, I'll see you there, buddy. So many people that I can't wait to see in this industry. And I look forward to whatever kind of feedback you might have for me. And for everyone else that's been watching today, I can't thank you enough for tuning into these 12 days running. I am going to get to 75. And until then, keep learning.